Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I'm already getting into my weekly check-in. I just put up my Paycheck 1 budget video here, and I'll be closing that out pretty soon because my husband just got paid today. So a lot going on this week, but I'll do that in a separate video. Today we're just doing weekly check-in, and I have a lot of numbers to run, and you're going to walk with me on that. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and show you what I've got going on. So when I do my weekly check-in, I have these two sheets here. It's a 2-page budget page for weekly check-in, and I sell these in my Etsy store. The shop is listed down below in the description, and it's called Lisa's Faith Budget Plan. And what I do is I have 1 week and 5 categories here. And I always have listed 5 weeks. Sometimes I use all 5 weeks. Sometimes I just use 4 weeks and then a note page. And I have not put on my note page. I will later after I do all the filming and stuff. But I do have a note here on how I'm going to break down the spending for my weekly check-in. So some of this will tell me weeks and some of this will tell me my paycheck to paycheck. So it just helps me to keep in mind what is what. So here we go. What we've got going on is this week. Oh my goodness, so much going on. Now I'm only going to do these days from Sunday to Thursday. And this Sunday actually included a couple days in February because I do a Friday to Thursday weekly check-in because it falls in line with my husband's paychecks. It just runs smoother for me. And sometimes, at the beginning of the month, I will use part of the previous month when it doesn't end on a Thursday, basically. So I'll add those days to the next month, and then I'll rotate as I go through it month to month. And it seems to be working very well for me. I'm definitely enjoying this, and it helps me keep the budget on track. So here we go. There's a lot going on. I do have 2 no spend days. Today is actually Friday. This why not, I will not lie. This why not is actually from Thursday, but I'd already closed out my mock budget and didn't think we were going to grab anything out. And then we ended up grabbing something out. So I just moved it to Friday's budget. It was within 12 hours. I'm like, it doesn't matter. The money was there. It comes out in a wash. Don't worry about it. So I'm still claiming that as a no spend day, even though we did grab something for dinner after I finished doing the budget yesterday. So here we go. Let's go back to this page, and I'm just going to go ahead and write a couple of things in. I want to go ahead and write how much we budgeted for each week for my spending categories. And my spending categories are the most important part of the budget because that is where most of our transactions happen. When you're paying your bills is a one-time, once-a-month thing usually, or every other month. But when you're spending, because you have to spend to buy groceries or get gas or restaurants or clothing or whatever it is you need, you have to make sure you're tracking those and knowing how much you have available in the actual cash you have in the bank or your cash envelope, either way. And for me, a weekly check-in is almost like checking in with a cash envelope. I mean, it's the same kind of concept. I don't particularly use, I actually don't ever use cash envelopes. I don't ever use cash. I am a debit card spender. I go ahead and I run my debit card. It gives me a permanent record in my bank account what the transaction is. I can go back and pull up my bank account every time I spend something. As long as I'm logging it down, I feel more accountable and in control of the money. And it reinforces when I do go out and spend, maybe I shouldn't spend so much. How much do I have available? And I track that in my every dollar as a setup with a paycheck to paycheck kind of system of how much actual cash is available for the time period I'm working in. So as long as you know that, then you know what you can spend, and it's very simple. So my 4 categories are grocery, household, restaurants, miscellaneous, and gasoline. I do have a line item for unbudgeted, and that's just to remind me that I spent something unbudgeted. I don't calculate it with my numbers. So what I budgeted for grocery household this month was for the first week, and that's the 26th of February going to the 4th of March, was $300. And I go very high in the beginning, and then I go less throughout the month because I buy more up front to cover me for the whole month. So that's kind of how my grocery buying system is. And I learned that by using a weekly check-in to see how my spending was. So that was awesome to learn about myself. Restaurants, I budgeted $130 for the week. Miscellaneous, I gave myself $110. And gasoline, we went $50. And the only reason we went $50, I am doing a 5-week weekly check-in for the month of March, just based on how my husband's paychecks worked out and how many days were in the month. Oops, I didn't mean to hit that. And so you're going to see a transaction for gasoline. It was a little higher than I normally get. Once a month, I try to put in my tank for my vehicle premium gas with the additives that help clean out the engine and stuff, something recommended by our mechanic, and he's a really good guy, so I trust him on that. So yeah, that's what we have, and I've gone over budget. And I have an Armada, so I have a lot, like it's a 29 gallon tank. So when I need to fill that sucker up and the gas prices go up, it can be anywhere from $40, $50, $60. I think I've hit $70 once, and we were in a state where gas prices were really, really high, but not recently. So yeah, so let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to the calendars page, and we are going to take our sticky note here that I like to use. I'm going to start writing everything down, and then I'll transfer the numbers on the next page. So let me zoom you in and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. So we are zoomed in. As you can see, these are 2 different colors, or 3 different colors. This represented the month of February, and that's the color I used for the month of February. And I like to switch them up. I use the same color for every transaction just because it goes well with my calendar page. That's why I do it. But I do highlight the corners with a highlighter system where I have grocery, household in pink, restaurants in blue, miscellaneous in green, gasoline in purple, and then these blue unbudgeted stickers, which are a little bit different. So it stands out a little more. So that's a reason why. And I wanted that to represent the previous month, and then going forward, this represented this month. So that's kind of how I did that this time. And I'm really enjoying seeing all the green and the peaches and the colors that I have in this new washi up here. Oh my goodness. Every time I change a month, it's so refreshing to see the colors. And I think that's why I've stuck doing this. I've been doing videos like this since December, and the stickers or printables and things like that have really kept me going on sticking to my budget and keep wanting to come back and do this and share this with you guys, because it's so refreshing to see the colors and so refreshing to, and motivating to come and have that moment and do the budget and feel excited about what I'm looking at. So I don't know about you, it works for me. So that's what's going on there. So we're going to do grocery household first, because that's the first on my list. And the first thing I have is this Food Lion for $61.13. And that's all I have for the previous weekend. Now we're coming into March, and I spent a lot on Tuesday. So you're going to see Walmart twice here. So this first Walmart was for me and my family. The second Walmart was a gift. Well, not a gift. It was, I have a friend who just had a baby, and I ran to the store for her, and that was the cost of what we had purchased for that. So I wanted to make sure I had the exact amount for her. So I did 2 transactions at the grocery store, and it was fine. So $133.29, and then $8.55 for my friend, but I still want them in the budget because I did spend it. And then Food Lion, there's things I forgot at Walmart, and then there's some things at Food Lion I can get only at Food Lion and not at Walmart. And those are the 2 stores I normally shop at. So I went back out and got what I forgot and a couple items that I only get at Food Lion. And then I always include HelloFresh because it is groceries, it is food, and 28. There we go. That's what I have there. So $61.13, $133.29, $8.55, $31.82, and $63.28. So let's total this up real quick and find out how much I spent in groceries this week. As you can see, I have no spend, and then there were no spend groceries for yesterday. And then what I did spend yesterday, I did move to today, which was why not the Walmart. I just came back from Walmart, so that's not going to be counted in all that. That'll be next week's check-in, and that will work for us. So 61.13 plus 133.29, 855, 31.82, and 63.28. There we go. All right, so I am within budget because I budgeted $300 and I only have like $1 left or so. It's kind of awesome. $298.07. So next we're going to calculate the restaurant section of what we spent. So restaurants are marked in blue. So we went to, where did we go? We went to the Virginia Living Museum, and on the way home, the kids are like, we want something picked up. I'm like, okay, because they were getting hungry. It was lunchtime, so they said McDonald's. I'm like, okay. And my husband and I are like, we don't want McDonald's. And if you would look at my past videos, I usually get Chick-fil-A every time, and we go out of our way to get it. But we decided this day, no, we're not going to go that far out of our way. So we decided to go get Chinese, and usually when we buy Chinese, and this was $35.65, Chinese is something, they give you so much, like a whole bunch, and we had it for lunch and dinner that night, so that fed us twice, and so that worked for us. Friday night pizza night, which is $39.16 for pizza. And then my husband got a sandwich one day, $6.90 for Arby's. And then we both got Taco Bell together one day, $17.26. So we had, this was not one day, this was over the 26th, 27th, and 28th. So we went out a lot that weekend, and it may have been the 25th as well. But it's just stacked in one area, that's why it seems like a lot. And then, let's see, we had Chick-fil-A here. I took my son to the mall, and he wanted a milkshake, and got that. And I just realized I have 2 of these stickers, and I need to take that one out. And I meant to do that earlier, and I forgot. So I can take this out, because this Arby's sticker is the same as that Arby's sticker there. Just for some reason in my head, I thought I bought it, or my husband bought it on it while we were out one day. So I'm going to move this down and kind of stick it in here if I can. There we go. So you do have to pay attention to how you're marking and how you're tracking. Make sure you don't make mistakes like that, but that's okay. Because later your budget's going to be like, you're over $6.90. And you're like, I can't figure it out. And that's the reason why. So there is that. And I don't think there's any other that I'm tracking for this week. So there we go. Let's add this up. 59, 35.65 plus 39.16 plus 6.90 plus 17.26 plus 4.18. There we go. Oh my goodness, what did I do? I hate it when I do that. 15.59 plus 35.6. Oh. One more time. 15.59 plus 35.65 plus 39.16 plus 6.90 plus 17.26 plus 1.18 or 4.18. There we go. So I have spent, or we have spent, $118.74. Miscellaneous is the next category. And let's see, I have not been checking these off either. So food. All right. Restaurants. And Chick-fil-A. There we go. Now miscellaneous. So I have some Amazon purchases. So recently we bought a Google Nest for our home, and that is to push out our Wi-Fi further and faster and more connective throughout our house. We have a 2-story home, so we'll make sure all corners, and our router and Wi-Fi is actually hooked up in our office off our master bedroom in one corner of the house, in the front of the house, and and it's got to spread all the way across downstairs and the other half of the house. It worked well for what we needed, but we needed the Nest, and this is just an accessory for this, $15.89. So we can, what it does is it holds that little round thing, and you're able to plug into the wall, and it kind of sits up against the wall, and I really like it, and it makes, definitely the Nest mesh is working, and we're very happy with it, and this plug thing that we bought as an accessory works very well, so we're happy with that. So make sure that sticker stays down. I bought a pre-order book. Now Amazon has not charged me for this, but I wanted to go ahead and write it in, and I have a note to remind myself as I go through that I put it in. So a pre-order for a new book, and I'm excited for that. It's actually a devotional by, let me see if I can find it real quick. It's an audiobook, actually. No, not an audiobook. I have no idea what I'm talking about right now. So I've been reading a book. Let me see if I can get an image of it up. By Lisa Tierkhurst, Forgiving for What You Can't Forget. And I've read her book on that, and I've read one of her other books as well. And she has a devotional coming out. And I pre-ordered the devotional, and yeah, I'm really excited about that. So we're working on stuff and making things happen. So when that comes out at the end of March, that charge will come through, but I already have it here. I bought a new cutting blade for my Silhouette, and that was $29.14. And then we went to Home Depot, $21.18. And that was for, what did we get at Home Depot? It was $21.18. Oh, my husband got the rest of the mulch. We needed six more bags of mulch. We had 12 bags, and then we needed 6 more bags to cover the front yard. So it needed to be mulched. It was looking pretty raggedy. So that is all I have for this miscellaneous. And so we're going to total that up. $15.89, $12.99 plus $29.14 plus $21.18. All right, $79. I am so excited to see this number really low, because I think it is caught on in my mind that my spending patterns for miscellaneous have really reduced compared to what they used to be, and to stay within budget is just amazing. I used to not be able to do that at all. So I also have Mary and Martha that I purchased. That was an unbudgeted thing. So $164.41 plus Home Depot $136.74. So this other Home Depot, these were big ticket items, so I didn't want to take it out of our spending categories. I took it out of the buffer of our checking account, and that's what's represented right there. And we spent $301.15. The Home Depot was a new doorknob, fancy doorknob. We have a fancy one on our front door, and the mechanisms were wearing out as far as how we open door, because when you grab the handle and you push down with your thumb to kind of open door, that's the kind we have. It's not just a twist and pull kind of doorknob. So we got the house came with a fancier one. We had to buy a fancier one, so that's what we got. And that's how that worked. So that's why we spent so much on that. And then Mary and Martha, well, I just splurged, so I have no excuses for that. Let's see. Oh, I cleared it out. I didn't mean to. $164.41 plus $136.74. There we go. So that was, I'll write it on the side here. Unbudgeted $301.15. and then I can mark that down. So let's go to our weekly check-in, and I'm going to pop this page out here because it's just easier to write with. And put it off to the side. There we go. And there we go. So let's write how much we spent for the week. So we have 300, or not 300. Don't want to go over budget. Okay. $298.07. Restaurants. Make sure we're on here. I have $118.74. Miscellaneous was $79.20, and I did forget something, and I'll show that real quick. Gasoline, which we don't buy very often, is this Exxon purchase up here. It was $65, so we will be over budget in gas because I only gave myself $50, but we felt it was okay. We can do that. Because by the time my husband got paid again, it would definitely cover whatever we spent in gas over. So it was $15 over, and we were fine with that. So, and definitely the other categories could cover something like that. $65.98. There we go. And then unbudgeted, we always do 0. And we spent $301.15. And now we are going to calculate so what we total spent was $561.99. Not including our unbudgeted. That comes out of our buffer, not our spending categories. So 300 plus 130 plus 110 plus 50 is 590 minus 2801. There we go. So we are matching all the way across the board. So I took 590 minus what our ending balance, and that gave us what we spent, and we check, and check. So awesome. I am excited to see that. So now I can use those numbers to close out my paycheck 2, or paycheck 1. I can't say that right today. I don't know what's wrong with me. So let's pop this back in, and I'm actually going to go ahead real quick and do my paycheck 2 closeout. Because, or I keep saying paycheck 2, I mean paycheck 1 closeout. I just put my paycheck 1 video up of setting it up, and I'm going to go ahead and close it out today. There we go. And we're just going to kind of do that. So there are the numbers that you just saw. I'm going to take this. I love these little clear sticky notes. I can edit things and do things and stuff like that. So let's kind of go over the paycheck 1. As far as what came in, what I budgeted was the actuals, and nothing changed. The mortgage didn't change. Visa Go card, my husband's personal money. Our tithings didn't change. I already knew what our natural gas was going to be. None of our subscriptions changed. Our medical stayed the same. And then these are kind of the overage right here. So there's that Home Depot unbudgeted item we were talking about for the door. And then my Mary and Martha stuff that I purchased. So that was unbudgeted. This is where I put it at the very bottom of my budget on these sheets. And I'm not even on screen. I'm sorry, guys. And then you're going to see this here. I didn't have it on my unbudgeted page as far as the, the weekly checking. I just didn't think it needed to be there because I already had it here. And so what I did is I made a payment to our Visa. My husband spent his VA education money, this $916.50. 43 of it went to his Visa Go card, which is his personal money that he has. And then the rest of it went on our credit card because he went and made a big purchase somewhere. And I said, go ahead and use the credit card and I'll just pay it off. And you're just not going to get a lot of money put on your personal money for your Visa Go card. And he's like, that's fine. So that's what we did. And so I paid the Visa, and he had $873.50. I had $85.63. And this was actually a business expense. I just have it come out on the card, and then I pay cash later. And we took it out of the budget, which is how we're working it right now. So that's why I have these 2 notes there, and that totals this number. So I'm going to take these notes off now. I know what they are. I know why I did it, and they're hard to pick up, so I'm going to use my tweezers. So there's that. So that is going to be, $959.13, and that is that. So now we're ready to close out our paycheck because we have double checked our numbers for our spending category. So I'm going to move this off to the side. We're going to write those down and write what we already put on the weekly check-in. So let's do that. Okay, so I have the numbers. I will do this later. I already know what they are with the weekly check-in, so I'll just come back and budget. So let's total what our actuals were that we actually spent and subtract it from our actual income for the paycheck period. So I'll be right back. Okay, we have come up with $4,922.43. And the amount we have for income up here is this number, and we're going to make this negative. I'm going to add $5,484.08, and we are going to get our number of what's rolling over from one paycheck to the next, which was $561.65. Whew. So this is what's going to start us for paycheck 2. And that was what was in the bank account. Let me zoom you guys out real quick. Okay, so that closes out paycheck 1. I ended paycheck 1 with only $561.65, which is what we calculated by subtracting my actuals from our income for that time period, this paycheck period. So, which is pretty good because we had some hefty spending, and you're going to see more hefty spending in paycheck 2 period because we had to buy a new stove. Again, I put it on the credit card, and then I'm going to take it out of the budget. At the end of this month, when I do my transfer for savings, it's not going to be very high, or if any at all. So I'm not sure if we're going to save for our emergency fund, but we had to buy a new stove for our house, and that's very important. I got to be able to cook. So there we go. This is paycheck 1, and I'm going to flip back to the weekly check-in. So give me 1 second. Okay, so this is the weekly check-in. The only thing I haven't done is title and adjust these numbers for the next pay week. So let's do that real quick. What I always do, because I want to stay within a particular number for the entire month. So if there's anything left over in the grocery household, I roll it over to the next week. And if I use too much, I take it out from the for the next week as well. So that keeps me within a budget amount for the month, and keeps me from going over budget for the most part. So let me zoom you back in. Okay, so I'm back. What we're going to do is take my numbers that I have on this little cheat sheet over here, and we're going to add what the weekly budget would be for these categories. So I have grocery household, and I have in budget $300. And I still have $1.93 left over, so I'm going to add $1.93, which is very easy math. And that will be the beginning of my new budget, $301.93. Then I'm going to take what I have budgeted for restaurants, which is $130. And I'm going to add this $11.26. Oh, good Lord, what did I do? $130. Plus $11.26, and that gives me $141.26 for restaurants. Next thing I have is our miscellaneous, and I'm doing $110 a week, and that would be $110 plus the $30.80 I did not spend the previous week. That gives me $140.80. And then because I was over budget here, I'm going to have $50 and I'm going to minus this $15.98. I don't think we're going to need gas during this week. If we do, it would be my husband's Jeep, and that should be enough to cover it. So it's $34.02. And again, we do not budget for unbudgeted. So there you go. Yeah. And unbudgeted for me is a large item. It's not a small item. So that's why I have a miscellaneous category. But that is the setup for next week. I'll write that in later. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys next time. Have an amazing and blessed day. Bye.